Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to our YouTube channel. My name is Glenn. Welcome, VV Nation. The beautiful thing about having a channel is the ability to do some impromptu stuff. And we know how big the story is about both Amazon and Apple earnings report and how it's affecting the market. We're going to do a deep dive on the call and the presentation to see what's warranted. Do you buy it? Do you not buy it? Are you bullish in the market? Are you bearish in the market? Let me ask you this. If you can hear me loud and clear, type a 1 in the room. Or actually type a VV Nation in the room. If you can hear me loud and clear, type a VV Nation in the room. And for us to be going off the cuff, we got 114 people in here live. All right. And if this works out well, we might be doing more of these earnings reports analysis. All right, we might just be doing that. So that's a great thing, but that's what we're going to cover today. We're primarily going to spend our time with Apple. Depending on how it goes, we may actually even look into Amazon as well. From the earnings report, it looks like both companies beat earnings and revenue. I was on the side when it came down to Apple that they would most likely beat on earnings, but I did not think that they were going to beat on revenue. And I'm still leery because as I watched parts of it yesterday, some parts of revenue they hit, some parts of revenue they missed, but I think altogether they beat on revenues. So, wow, a lot of people, I love this, that a lot of people are here on an impromptu live stream. Share this. Share this. If you're brand new to the channel, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, hit the like button as well. Imagine that Steve actually talking about Apple stock. Amazing. So it's big news. It's big news, and that's why we're doing this live stream. It is a big news. That say AMD is bearish. I'm not going to get into other stocks. I want to concentrate, Marie, specifically on the stocks at hand. At least Apple, Prime, and if we've got the time, we will do the same dive on Amazon as well. All right, so the first thing I want to do is I want to go look at the news. The news is, as you can see, this was from yesterday's report. All right, yesterday's report, so we're not far off of the actual reporting. Yesterday's report after the market closed, you can see that both Apple and Amazon beat on earnings and revenue. Looks like that Amazon did a better job beating on earnings than Apple did. And actually, look at that. Apple just barely beat on revs. And again, Amazon did a better job beating on revs as well. And Joey put a poll up just because we've got both calls. We've got, would you rather listen to the call or would you rather go through the slide presentation and take a look and analyze the slide presentation? All right, so Joey put a poll up there, and it looks like a lot of you want to hear the call, and there we go. If that's the case, then that's what we're going to do. If that's the case, that's what we're going to do. But we will listen to the call, we'll listen to what they say, and if that's the case, we may only get through one because the Apple call is an hour-long call. All right, stop it, Jake. The Apple call is an hour-long call, and if we're gonna listen to the whole call, then that's gonna probably take up all of the time that we have. So there we go. The idea is you do want to listen to the call, we will do that. All right, so just to start us off, Apple again beat on earnings. Amazon did a better job beating on earnings. Apple beat on revenue, and Amazon did a better job on it as well. And Amazon so far is the better recipient today as far as the move. It was up the last time I looked about 11%, whereas Apple was down about 3%. Can we do some of both? We can try, but I don't know what parts of the call are more important than other parts. All right, Greg says, forget the whole call. Greg, I am with you, but I'm going to have to go with the masses. The masses want to listen to the call, so we'll do that. I would personally, and Joey and I had this conversation before we came on. Personally, I'd rather just go off the slides and analyze the slides. Everything that we need to know is on the slides, and they both provided nice sets of slides to determine what was there. So that's my opinion, but I am going to go with the masses because we did ask the question. All right, so let's get into the VectorVest software now. And let's talk about what's going on in the market. All right. So from the perspective of both of them beat on earnings and revenue, what's the biggest mover in the market today? And it goes back and forth. All right. Badger says, I came today for analysis of the call. I already listened to both calls. Forget the call. Not Sam. Again, it all depends on the poll. Depends on what you guys say on the poll. All right. Slides only wasn't on the list of choices. Joey found the information for me. Joey got all of the information that I needed for both the slides and the call. I want to hear some of the call, but Joey will be late for his daily gold. Oh, you hear that, Joey? I like it when they go in on you. I like it when they go in on you. So the NASDAQ is the big mover today, followed by the S&P 100. I'm wondering if both Apple and Amazon are not in the S&P 100 as well. They are both of the biggest winners today. You know what catches my attention? That the low cap stock, the Russell 2000 was back and forth between positive and negative. Brandon says, where's the poll? Joey's got to answer that. It should just pop up. Like it's pinned to the top. It's pinned to the top of the chat. All right. So with the move, and someone yesterday let me know that the bigger, that what the market was going to move based upon what the two of them did, and we can see that we're all up today. Now, let's take this a step further. Let me ask you the question. Not ask you. Let me ask you this question. How many of you currently are bullish on the current market? Type of 1. If you're not bullish on the current market, type of 2. All right. I need to set the stage. If you're bullish on the market, type of 1. If you're bearish on the market, type of 2. Now, I'm going to give my 2 cents. My 2 cents is that I am bearish on the market. We've done a lot when we've talked about protecting your profits, the July high, the MTI, even though the MTI is not at a level of being at a toppy level anymore. I like Haas's answer. Wow, a lot of you are bullish on the market. Haas says neutral. All right. I am of the mindset that I am not bullish on the market. The Fed's going to continue to raise rates. The Fed feels that because of the job market and that people are still spending money. I talked a little bit about that as well. Come October, that money that's going to be able to be spent is not going to be able to be spent anymore because it's going to have to go back to the student loans. That's another commentary for another time. But I still think that the Fed feels that the market is ready, is still able to sustain another rate increase. Now, why am I bearish on the market? With the higher rate increases, it makes it harder for people to borrow money. And when you do borrow money, you have to pay it back at a higher interest rate. That takes money out of the economy. It takes money out of businesses. They're not able to pay their people as much as they'd like to pay them. That happens, they're going to lay off more people. And over, it's a crucial cycle that we're currently going through right now. So I am more bearish on the market than not. I'm of the mindset, this is 3 months, let's go to 1 year graph. I think the market is ready for a healthy pullback. Every time it goes up nicely, it's time for a pullback. We haven't had a real pullback since June of this year. All right, that's not a long time ago, but I think the market's ready for a bullish pullback. So keeping all of that, Joey, did Glenn get his 40-piece chicken McNuggets? No, I didn't get him. That makes me sick. All right, so I'm still bearish on the market, and I make that statement, or I ask that question, because even though these stocks may be moving up the market today, is it enough to keep the market moving up? Are those two main stocks enough to push the market higher for the foreseeable future? Well, we are at a level of resistance. The 3 and 8 are still bearish. Up day to day, trading at the session highs, very little wick at the top of the candle. So we've got an argument for the market being bullish today. I'm going to go one other place. Let's go to the viewers tab. Let's go look at last night's information. Prudent investors may buy stocks long if the market is rising. That was as of, that's July 31st. Not what I want. Let's go move this up. What's today? Friday? Thursday? Let's see what the guidance was last night. The guidance is, with 2 red lights down up, prudent investors should not buy stocks at this time. All right, what is the market doing? It's moving up. It's moving up primarily because of 2 stocks. That's the reason why I asked the question. Are those 2 stocks enough to sustain the market to keep moving higher? Prudent investors should not buy stocks. Aggressive investors should not play the market with a bias to the downside. Today didn't back up what was said, but the primary wave is down. The buy to sell ratio is pulling off. The number of buys to sells very close to each other. The percentage of buys higher than sells is about 3%. Not enough to make me feel comfortable to go gangbusters. RT is below 1. The market's not in an uptrend right now. All right, so keeping all of those things in mind, looking at more red lights popping up in the color guard, even though today I think we're all yellow. Right, today we're all yellow, but the primary wave is down. These are the things that make me still a little leery about pulling the trigger to say that we're full. Oh, look at that. Look at that there. Now, still 49% say yes, they want to listen to the call compared to 30. Some of it says 21. All right, I just want to, so we're going to listen to the call. We'll listen to the call as long as you want, and we'll pull back out of it. All right. So now with that, let's get back into the slides. And the first one we're going to talk about is Apple. All right. We can listen to the financial. And again, it's about an hour-long call. Not enough to back the excursion up. I'm not backing up. Look, I got the check engine light on the excursion right now. All right. Folks, if you feel that there's people out there who are interested in the breakdown of this call, being that it's a big story, I need you guys to share this content right now. Joey's going to put the link to this live. I need you guys to share the live link. This could help a lot of people in understanding what they need to do in the current market's conditions. There it is. The link's there. Share it. I need you guys to get the people that you know who are interested, especially if they own Apple. Let's talk about this call. All right, here we go. No on the call. We can listen on our own. I feel the same way, Joyce. Oh. I feel the same way, but the masses have spoken, Joyce.
Over to Sayori Casey, Vice President of Finance. Please go ahead.
Thank you. Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us. Speaking first today is Apple CEO Tim Cook, and he'll be followed by CFO Luca Maestri. After that, we'll open the call to questions from analysts. Please note that some of the information you'll hear during our discussion today will consist of forward-looking statements, including, without limitation, those regarding
Can you hear the call clearly?
Gross margin, operating
yes
expenses,
or no?
Other income and expense, taxes, capital allocation, and future business outlook, including the potential impact of macroeconomic conditions on the company's business and the results of operations. These statements involve risks and uncertainties that may cause actual results or trends to differ materially from our forecast. For more information, please refer to the risk factors discussed in Apple's most recently filed annual report on Form 10-K and the Form 8-K filed with the SEC today, along with the associated press release. Apple assumes no obligation to update any forward-looking statements, which speak only as of the date they're made. I'd now like to turn the call over to Tim for introductory remarks.
Drew says sounds like a
Thank you, Sayori. Good afternoon, everyone, and thanks for joining us.
That's Tim.
Today, Apple is reporting revenue of $81.8 billion for the June quarter, better than our expectations. We continue to see strong results in emerging markets, driven by robust sales of iPhone, with June quarter total revenue records in India, Indonesia, Mexico, the Philippines, Poland, Saudi Arabia, Turkey, and the UAE. We set June quarter records in a number of other countries as well, including France, the Netherlands, and Austria. And we set an all-time revenue record in services driven by more than 1 billion paid subscriptions.
So services was going to be the bright spot of the earnings, and it was. But what I do like is not only are they making money far as U.S., but the emerging markets, India, Indonesia, Mexico, and other countries, as well as it looks like it's been a ramp up in the European countries as well, broadening their footprint across the globe, which is going to be a positive thing.
We continue to face an uneven macroeconomic environment, including nearly 4 percentage points of foreign exchange headwinds. On a constant currency basis, we grew compared to the prior year's quarter in aggregate and in the majority of markets we track. We continue to manage deliberately and innovate relentlessly, and we are driven by the sense of possibility those efforts inspire. To that end, before I turn to the quarter in more detail, I want to take a moment to acknowledge the unprecedented innovations we were proud to announce at our Worldwide Developers Conference. In addition to extraordinary new Macs and incredible updates to our software platforms, we had the chance to introduce the world to spatial computing. We were so pleased to share the revolutionary Apple Vision Pro with the world, a bold new product unlike anything else created before. Apple Vision Pro is a marvel of engineering, built on decades of innovation only possible at Apple. It is the most advanced personal electronic device ever created.
The glasses.
And we've been thrilled by the reaction from press, analysts, developers, and content creators who've had the chance to try it. We can't wait to get it into customers' hands early next year. Now let me share more with you on our June quarter results, beginning with iPhone. iPhone revenue came in at $39.7 billion for the quarter, down 2% from the year-ago quarter's record performance. On a constant currency basis, iPhone revenue grew, and we had a June quarter record for switchers, reflecting the popularity of the iPhone lineup. iPhone 14 customers continue to praise the exceptional battery life and essential health and safety features, while iPhone 14 Plus users are loving the new larger screen size. And with Dynamic Island always on display and the most powerful camera system ever in an iPhone, the iPhone 14 Pro lineup is our best ever. Turning to Mac.
All right, wait a minute. I'm an Apple user. I love the iPhone. There's a problem. The other cameras, the Droid cameras, are better than Apple. Do you agree with that? Yes or no? Do you agree with that? Yes or no? I love my iPhone, but I have seen on more than one occasion that the Droid cameras are better than the iPhone. Yes or no?
Mac, we recorded $6.8 billion in revenue, down 7% year over year. We are proud to have completed the transition of our entire Mac lineup to run exclusively on Apple Silicon. We are also excited to have introduced the new 15-inch MacBook Air during the quarter, the world's best 15-inch laptop and one of the best Macs we've ever made. And we launched two new powerhouses in computing, Mac Studio with M2 Max and M2 Ultra, and Mac Pro with M2 Ultra, which are the most powerful Macs we've ever made. iPad revenue was $5.8 billion for the June quarter, down 20% year over year, in part due to a difficult compare because of the timing of the iPad Air launch last year. Customers are loving iPad's versatility and exceptional value. There was a great deal of excitement from creatives when we brought Final Cut Pro and Logic Pro to iPad this spring. And with the back-to-school season in full swing, iPad has the power to help students tackle the toughest assignments. Across wearables, home, and accessories, revenue was $8.3 billion, up 2% year over year and in line with our expectations. Packed with features to empower users to live a healthier life, Apple Watch and Apple Watch Ultra continue to help people take the next step on their wellness journey. As I mentioned earlier, last quarter, we held our biggest and most exciting WWDC yet. We were thrilled to welcome developers from across the globe to Apple Park, both in person and virtually, and to share some stunning new announcements with the world. In addition to Apple Vision Pro and the new Macs that we introduced, we had the chance to reveal some truly remarkable new innovations to our software platforms. From exciting new features like live voicemail and standby in iOS 17 to new tools for users to work, play, and personalize their experience in macOS Sonoma and iPadOS 17, to a fresh design and new workout capabilities in watchOS 10, There's so much coming later this year to empower users to get more out of their devices, and we think they're going to instantly love these new features. It was also an exciting quarter for services, where revenue reached $21.2 billion and saw a sequential acceleration to an 8% year-over-year increase, better than we expected. We set an all-time revenue record for total services and in a number of categories, including video, Apple Care, cloud, and payment services. Since we introduced Apple Pay almost a decade ago, customers have been loving how easy it is to make purchases online, in apps, and in stores. We're also pleased to see Apple Card build on the success of Apple Pay. Designed with our users' financial health in mind, Apple Card has become one of the most successful credit card programs in the U.S. with award-winning customer satisfaction. And this spring, we introduced a new high-yield savings account for Apple Card customers, which has become incredibly popular, with customers already making more than $10 billion in deposits.
$10 billion.
Meanwhile, Apple TV Plus continues to provide
Joey.
a spectacular showcase of imaginative storytelling. Recently, fans welcomed new series like Hijack and Silo, as well as returning fan favorites like Foundation and The After Party. In the few years since its launch, Apple TV Plus has earned more than 1,500 nominations and 370 wins. That includes the 54 Emmy Award nominations across 13 titles that Apple TV Plus received last month. It's also been an exciting time for...
All right, I'm watching the numbers. Do you still want to continue to listen to the call? Yes or no? No more poll, just type it in the room. I'm watching the numbers of the people that are here. Do you still want to listen to the call? Yes or no? All right, this is going to be big because I don't want to lose you guys. All right, I think that the topic is way too important to lose you because we're just listening to the call. All right, so type it in the room. No poll this time. I'm just going to look at the total just as much as I can. All right. All right. Joey, you see that, right? Joey, are you there? Sorry. All right. It looks like for the most part, for the people that are answering, we don't want to listen to the call. Please give us an option. The option is, this is the other side of it. I've got the slides for everything else that he's talking about that we can analyze. That's the other option, Brian. I got it both for the Apple call and for the Amazon call. I am of the mindset everything that he's talking about is right here. We can look at it from right here. That's your option, Brian. That's your option. All right. So based upon not wanting to listen to any more of the call, we can go through the numbers right. And we can definitely go through the numbers right here. All right. So from sales, products 73 compared to March 2022, sales have dropped. But, you look back at March of 2022, dropped. 6 months ended, actually dropped as well. So that should be a negative part to the Apple's sales perspective. The numbers look good, but from a 6 month over the time period, that's not a very positive sign. I think that's affecting the stock so far. Looking at the 3 months ended, services up 6 month ended as well. Services is the strong part. And somebody called Apple Care and Apple don't care. I don't know. I've never had to call Apple Care, but the services part of it is there. Sales on hardware are down, but services are up. And Chris, that's what the numbers are showing me right here. All right. So if I look at it from that perspective, that's what's keeping them in the pot. And again, I don't think that they beat revenues if the services wasn't as strong as it is. On the cost of sales on the 3 month have gone down and on a 6 month gone down. So that's a good That's a good sign of not spending nearly as much. Total cost of sale on services. Interesting. So they put more money. Look at that. They put more money, the cost of sales on products and services. They put more money into the services side. It brings up better results. And they did it on the 6 month as well. So they're putting more money behind the services side, and it's yielding the fruit. All right. Gross margin slightly down 3 months, slightly down on a 6 month as well. Operating costs, how much it takes to run the business. Research and development, they're putting more money. When they put out this new Mac, and I'm a DJ and I use the Mac Air. I'm seriously thinking about getting into the new Mac. It's got the M2 chip, and I see it's a strong, powerful chip. I think from an innovation standpoint, they're doing better from that. Big part of services is their charge to Apple providers. Well, you know something? I didn't look at it from that perspective, Chris, but you might be right. For those providers, in order to pass it on, to put more money into the coffers. You know that Apple's got 3 trillion market cap, whereas Amazon's got 1.3. Apple's got more than twice the market cap as Amazon. So very interesting. Earnings per share dropped a little bit on a 3 month basis and dropped a little bit on a 6 month basis, even though no quarter over quarter, which is 3 months. Interesting. It did go up. Net sales in Americas, that's the biggest market for Apple. And actually, it went down. Here it is, the sluggish sales. It went down on a 3 month basis and went down on a 6 month basis. Again, I think that these are some of the things that are weighing heavy from a sales side on the Apple. Marie says, how is that possible? You talk about the earnings part. I agree with that. It says the earnings per share on a 3 month basis, which should be a quarter, is down a penny. But when they reported earnings, about 7 cents higher. And you're right, Marie. I'm not sure, but if you look at the numbers, the numbers show that on a 3 month basis, it's down a penny. And on a 6 month basis, it's down about 20 cents. Interesting, right? Interesting. All right, shares used in computing now. Oh, here's where I was at. The Americas, the biggest market. Europe, though. Europe is now the second biggest market. I thought, rest of Asia Pacific, that's going to include India, Japan, Greater China sales. Look at that. All of the sales. Actually, the European sales jumped. Look at that on a 3 month basis from 23,287 to 23,945. So there's a ramp up in the European market on the Apple side. In the Americas, a little bit of a fall. Let's go look at the 6 month. A little fall on the European market. Looks like they put and bolstered up a little bit more money to go after the European market, and it's paying off. Always good to reference if Warren Buffett adds more shares. I don't disagree with that. All right, I don't disagree with that. Amazon sandbagged this quarter from the sounds of blowout numbers. Interesting. Net sales by category. iPhone. Actually, iPhone sales went up on a 3 month basis, went down on a 6 month basis. But on a 3 month basis, did bump up a little bit. The Mac, though, interesting that with the new Mac, and he was talking about how people loved it, the Mac side of it dropped on a 3 month basis. Interesting, huh? Dropped on a 3 month basis and dropped on a 6 month basis. I'm going to end the poll, Joey. All right. And iPad dropped a little bit. Wearables, that's going to jump. I think that's going to jump because of the glasses. The Apple Vision glasses are super expensive compared to the Meta glasses. And I think that that's going to boost the sales in the wearables, whether it's the glasses or the watches or whatever. I think that that's going to be a big boost in sales going into the next quarter once they start getting these glasses out into people's hands. All right, current assets. This is all about assets, how much they have. I'm going to scroll past that. Condensed consolidated cash flows. Net income 54 compared to 59. So they're making less money. Depreciation and amortization. More depreciation? I'm wondering if that goes along with rising interest rates. I'm wondering. All right, share-based compensation expenses. I think for people who own shares, that's what it sounds like. People, there's more than what was 6 months ago or March. Yeah, about a year ago. March to April. Yeah, but this is over 6 months ended, but that's more than 6 months. That looks like about a year. Accounts payable in the negative. Vendor non-trade receivables is up. So who was the person that said that they're making money because of outside people? Vendor non-trade receivables, that's bumped up. Big jump from the prior 6 months or a year. That's a big jump. Good, googly moogly. I need to get an explanation for that difference in the number. That's a big jump. Accounts receivable in the positive. It was in the positive. They're getting more. They're taking in more money. Not sure how they're doing it up, unless it's from the developers, because it's not because of sales. From the developers, I'm telling you, man. Whoever brought up about the developers was huge. That was huge. That's a big jump in number. Investing activities in the negative on purchases of marketable securities. Proceeds from maturity, stuff that has vested most likely, a little lower than it was before. A lot of stuff. With all of this stuff, I'm still mixed. And answer me this: are you with me as well? The euro is stronger. Is that why the European sales have gone up? Are you with me in that the story, the numbers look good, but it's still giving mixed signals? Type of 1 if you agree with that. All right, type of 1 if you agree with that, type of 2 if you don't. I think that they may, some of the innovations that they talked about, which I think are good, Apple Pay, the Apple credit card, the health mention of it, live voicemail, the MacBook 15 Air with the M2 chips. The M2 chip is a very powerful chip. The M2 chip is a way powerful chip. And the Apple Vision glasses. So a lot of people are feeling the same way that I am. The story looks good. The numbers look good. But then some of the other numbers don't look nearly as good. All right, some of the other numbers don't look nearly as good. But those are the spreadsheets on everything that the call was going to talk about. And I think it's easier for us to look at here than to go listen to the call. And again, it seems like you guys are on board with that. All right. So I'm only half an hour into this. Let's do this. Let's go to the Amazon. All right. Do you want to listen to any of the call for the Amazon? You want to hear any of it at all? All right. Type of 1 if you want to listen to any of it at all. Type of 2 if you don't. And I'm looking at the number of people who are still here compared to the people when we started. I think that the call for many of you wasn't all about you wanted to hear it. And I understand. That's fine. I just want to give you the options. I've got the slides for the Amazon. We can do the same thing, but if you want to listen to some of the call, we can do that. So let me know in the chat. Do you want to listen to any of the Amazon call? Yes. If you don't want to listen to any of the Amazon call and just go through the slides, 1 for if you want to listen to the call, 2 if you just want to do the slides. 2 if you just want to do the slides. All right. And again, as I look at the amount of people that's here, I don't want to lose you. I think that both of these earnings reports as a news story is important to get a better understanding of what's going on. So I want to keep you here. I don't want to bore you, but I want to keep you here because there's a lot of insightful information coming out of these. There's a lot of insightful information coming out through the glow. I saw you said it, yes. Selective parts of the call is, I don't know what, I didn't listen to the call early enough to point out specific points in time where I want to go. Maybe for the next one, and this is a learning experience, maybe for the next one, I'll have to listen to the call, but I'll have points where I want to listen to specific stuff. All right. A lot of people, T, are telling me no. I got more people in the room telling me no. Again, just like I went with the call the first time because the majority of people told me yes, I think we're going to concentrate on the slides, because the majority of the people, if you're looking in the chat, are telling me no. All right. So let's go through the slides. All right, first slide, net sales, up 11% year over year, adjusted $82,000. Is that in millions? $82 million, 61% in North America. Their business in the international, 29 million, and in AWS, we've got 22 million. We have a weaker dollar. So even with a weaker dollar, that means people are going to be more willing to buy our stuff. So Marie, I've been looking at that, and I've done a couple of videos in regards to the de-dollarization. Yes, the dollar is down. No. Is it going to be removed as the world reserve currency? No. But the dollar is going down. As a matter of fact, I need you to see something when it comes down to the dollar. All right, let's go add new. I'm going to put in UUP. And a lot of people are telling me, yeah, that the dollar is going down. But when we look at it on a broader scale, let's go put this on a 1-year scale. We look at it on a broader scale, we're leveling out. Let's go put this on a 5-year scale. We're nowhere near the low that happened in 2020. Let's go put this on a 10-year scale. We're still looking at weekly. We're not anywhere, and this was back in 2014, where the dollar was sitting at 21.14. Right now, we're at 28.23. Yes, the dollar's pulled back. Yes, the dollar is in the channel. No, is it near any time of a 10-year low? All right, and my 10-year low, again, is back here in 2014. So, Marie, I totally understand, and a lot of people talking about the pullback in the dollar, but we're fine. All right, that's we're fine. We're not getting usurped as the reserve currency, number one, and number two, if you look at the decline on the dollar, it's doable. Even the most recent pullback back in 2021, all right, the COVID pushed the dollar down, and then we put a lot of money back in the economy, push the dollar up. We're not doing that now because interest rates are being rising, but the dollar is fine. All right. Not that I'm not scared about it. I think it's just, normal cycle of the dollar. So now Glow Up King. Joey got me this information. Joey just Googled earnings call for Apple and earnings call for Amazon to get all the information that he got me. All right. So that's the easiest way to do it. Any earnings call that you want. I think that going forward, I'm losing people, so maybe going forward we don't do this again. I'm just being honest. Maybe going forward we thought that this was going to be a really good idea to break down an earnings call. But, I don't want to do it if you're not going to show up or not stay. I want to keep your attention. So, we'll see. This was the first time. We'll see if we'll do it again, but, big drop. A big drop in the people may be telling us that maybe this is not something that we want to do on our channel. I guess the only way that thinking for me will change is that after this is on the channel, share it. If you want people to jump on board that this was important enough for us to do, share it. And if more people watch it, after the fact, then maybe we revisit coming back to do this again. All right. That's the best way I can look at it. All right, net sales up 11%, 13% FX adjusted, still a lot of the same numbers. Let's scroll down on the list. That was operating income, jumped. All right, operating income jumped. I wonder if, again, this goes back to interest rates. Operating income up 132%. On webcast does not make a trend. You're right. And I hear you, Badger. One webcast does not make a trend, but at least it's a start to help us to understand if it's something we want to do. And I got to take that from you. You're absolutely right. One webcast does not make a trend. Absolutely. But operating income, and then the adjusted operating income, 17,000. And this is in millions. That's a big jump. And actually, over the last year, a big jump in operating income. So they're putting more money back into the company to do the things that they need to do. I like the investment back into the company. All right. I definitely like doing the putting money back into the company. Thank you, Joey. Joey is the best, Glenn. I hear you. I'm going to take that down. All right. I already know that he's the best. Oh, did I remove it? I didn't mean to remove it. Crap. I meant to take it down from up there. What did Badger say? Yeah, I'm with you. I totally believe. And Joey is right. Ryan's going to do one on NVIDIA in a couple of weeks. But you guys got to show up and show out, man, because it is a live stream, just impromptu. We want you, if you feel that it's worth it, let us know. Let us know. Glenn, it's Friday in the summer. People are at the beach. You know, that could have something to do with it, but I'm not 100% on with that, John. All right, let's scroll down a little bit more. Net income loss. So putting money back into the company is costing them. Net loss, big move. It's in the positive. So I don't know if that's I look at it, net income loss is a bad thing. This bound here means that they weren't losing money. Do you read that the same way? Yes or no? I'm thinking that they lost some money in a big way, $6 million, compared to quarter 2 of 2022. They didn't lose. Does that make sense? All right. The near perfect indicator is in downtrend now. Again, Robert, I'm of the mindset I started from the beginning that I'm not bullish on the market. All right, for Apple, MPI is in a downtrend. I'm not bullish on the market. I think there's too many headwinds. There's definitely too many headwinds going on in the market. And again, the information and the guidance that we're giving is right in line with that. Oh, Roger says it's just the opposite. So this is good and this is bad. All right, so this is good and this is bad. Net income, but I see loss. That's what caught my attention. If they didn't have that there, I'd been like, oh, they made money, they lost money. All right, loss would be in brackets, like here. All right, so that's in brackets. That's right here. Okay, I got you. The value in parentheses is the loss. Thank you, Roger. Thank you, Chris. So that's a good number. They're making money, $6.7 million. That's a good deal. Net income year over year or month over month, quarter 2, 2020. Look at that's a big up 13% year over year. Let's go back to the other slide. Didn't say, but up 13% year over year. That's good and higher than 13. That's a good little move. All right, segment North America, operating loss again in the positive, year over year up, year over year, and that's in North America. Wonder if they do any of the other. International up 10%, net sales in AWS up 12%, operating income though down 6% year over year, down 8% FX adjusted. Free cash flow in the positive. They were losing money a year ago. But look at this, and it's gotten better and better for each reporting cycle. They're making more money, more free cash. That means they can do more stuff. Free cash, less principal repayments. I think that's interest rates. Reinvesting, I think the reinvesting part we did talk about. I'm putting money back into their company for the R&D, for all of the things that they need to do. Buying more, Amazon. Getting better products in order to be able to be more effective. How about Amazon now has got a deal out that they can deliver, most orders in a day. That's big. That takes some input of cash to be able to do that, whether it's more trucks, more people, whatever it is. But, delivering in a day. I did a story. I think I was either did a story or I was going to do a story talking about that, saying pretty much they can deliver in a day. That's huge. All right. Let's go to 14. Free cash flow, less equipment finance leases. All right. Again, I'm wondering as that number is going up quarter 1 to quarter 2, I wonder when interest affects this. Principal repayments. I wonder, and I still think that rising interest rates are going to affect this number going forward. Hasn't affected them yet, it looks like, because it keeps getting better and better and better. Free cash flow, less finance. All right, so that's going to be interesting to watch going forward. Shares, stock-based awards outstanding. I think that this is the amount of people who hold shares in the company. That's what I think. All right, they had less people a year ago. Looks like people are not exercising their options. All right, which is interesting that they're not exercising their options. They're holding on because something. If the stock is going to go up, I'd rather sell them when they're at much a higher price, right? All right, and that's the slide deck for Amazon. All right, Apple way extended off its 50-day. Let's go look at the two stocks again. Viewers. Let's go add Amazon to this. AMZN. Again, the bonus to the live was adding Amazon to the call. Apple, again, I still think it was mixed. I think that it was mixed in the story, and I think that as people are digesting the earnings call, that they feel the same way that I do. Whereas Amazon had more of an upbeat, really beat of earnings and a beat of revenues, and it's showing its effect. If I look at the fundamentals on the both of them, relative safety, high relative safety on Apple. Again, I thought yesterday prior to earnings that it was going to have a good chance of beating earnings. I really didn't think it was going to beat revenue, but it did. All right, but it did. If I look at a graph of the both of them with Amazon, again, the earnings report for Amazon was a lot more solid. There's Apple. Wow. There's the 388 costing a couple of days before the earnings call, followed through, gap down, very little. There's a lot of indecision. The stop price is still there. It's not there, but it did move from a buy to a hold. Whereas I look at Amazon, nice bump up in Amazon. I think the reports, the earnings calls really talk for themselves. Amazon sounded better. It looked better. Apple, again, was a little mixed in my mind. Even though they beat on both revenues and earnings, it still was a bit mixed in looking at the report. So Amazon might be the good play. Now, let's go back to what's going on in the market. And from a graph perspective, am I super bullish on the market? I am not. Until the market can take out the 3-month high, I am still bearish on the market overall. I think one day doesn't make a trend. Just like the same thing what Badger said about this webcast. One day doesn't make a trend. I look forward to seeing if Ryan can keep you guys a little longer when he does the NVIDIA call. All right, so I'm not bullish on the market based upon a lot of the things that we've been pushing, knowing that we had the July high, knowing that the market was looking toppy and now pulling back. Today is an up day because of the two stocks that beat earnings in revenue. I don't know if that's enough to keep the market sustainable moving up. Only two stocks. But if I look, I'm coming off of the high. I do see that the MTI is not being overbought anymore. But I also know that the Fed's going to have a high probability of raising interest rates again. It all depends before the next decision what's going on with his key indicators. But I think the job market is going to help to make him think that the market can sustain another rate hike. Right now, whether he does it on the next call or not is yet to be seen. But if he started, he did a pause, he did a raise. He may do a pause before he does another raise. He may do another pause before he does another raise. But if the job market still looks like it's robust, he may do a raise on the next decision. All right. William might be right. NVIDIA may be standing room only. It could be the topic, and that. But we're preparing you. We're letting you know that when the NVIDIA earnings comes out, Ryan will do a live webcast, the breakdown of the earnings call. So we got you a lot more advanced notice than we had for this one, which was great. We're glad that you showed up for this. This was impromptu, but at least when NVIDIA comes out, you're going to be prepared for it. Hopefully you come out in droves. I pray that you guys come out in droves. All right. Glenn, thanks for moderating the International Online Forum tomorrow. Yep, I'll be there. I will be there tomorrow for the International Forum as well. I'm a busy kind of guy. But I love talking to you guys. Believe you me. I believe you me. All right. With that, I think I'm done for this presentation. It was a little less than an hour, but I think we covered a lot of the pertinent information. We looked at a lot of different things. If I had to pull the trigger on either one, and I would say go with Amazon. Now, I'm going to say something else about Apple. You know something? I'm thinking that the smart money, same thing that happened this morning with Amazon. I'm thinking that the smart money knows that Apple overall is still a good stock. They could be waiting for the stock to go down to snatch it up at a good low price. So keep that in mind as well. Yes, the earnings report came out. It was a little mixed signals, but I think that people do know that overall Apple is a good stock, and big money could be waiting for Apple to get to a nice low price before they snatch it up. So I'm not going to tell you to take it off of your radar, but if I'm pulling the trigger on either one, it's Amazon. But I'm also keeping my eye on what's going on in the market. I'm not really bullish on the market. I'm still more bearish than not. All right. However, you really should not work Saturday. Like me, you need personal time to do what your wife tells you. I know, but this is not an every Saturday thing. So I can take time out of my weekend to put to the International Forum. All right. Microsoft will be a good long-term hold. Let's go take a look at that real quick. MSFT. Do I believe in that? MSFT. Where's the relative value? Relative safety. Okay. Earnings, good. Earnings growth, 9%. I don't want intraday. I want 3-month graph. Put on a 6-month graph. Nice move, Marie, over the last 6 months. Pulled back, finding a level of support at that level of 327.75, bouncing back up. I may not disagree with you. I think long-term, definitely bottom left to top right. Little sideways move, found a level of support. I'd wait for the 3 and the 8 to cross before I get back into it. That's what I'm looking at. Do we have to worry about the RV on Amazon? No. Remember, Roy, the RV, who asked me that? Yeah. RV tells me the stock's long-term upside potential. And, I'd like it to outperform the AAA corporate bond, but the stock... let's go put it in a viewer. I'm not going to do what I was going to do. No. I think, and that works both for Apple and Amazon. Both RVs are below 1, but these are powerhouse companies. I think long term, they'll either keep up with the market or they will outperform the market. It doesn't show me that here, but this goes outside just the normal stuff. I think that people will push these stocks higher because they're well-known, high-power companies. All right. Hi, Lola. All right. Lola, though, thank you for being here, but we getting ready to go. AMD as well are both in need to move forward with AI. I think that a lot of the tech stocks are primarily the benefit of AI. Been talking about that as well. John says Apple is an excellent company. However, for me, I'm looking for faster growing companies. And right now, like I said, everybody knows that I love Apple, but I'm not in love with Apple. There's a right time and a wrong time to be in Apple. And I wait for it to set up before I go and buy it. All right. Don't worry, Lola. He'll start over. Roger, that's wrong. All right. So with that, folks, thank you for being here for our first earnings call. Hopefully we'll keep doing them in the future as well. Couple of weeks, Ryan will be doing one on NVIDIA. Support him. Make sure you come, show up, and show out. All right. With that, folks, adios, arrivederci, ciao, au revoir, sayonara, aloha to all my peeps in Hawaii and for you, Mark, in the Bahamas. Bom dia, salam, shalom, namaste, yasu. Until next time, folks, see ya.